Welcome to Women in Sales, a podcast hosted by Jenni Lee Crocker, where we spotlight the voices, stories, and strategies shaping the future of sales. In each episode, Jenni sits down with inspiring women across industries to share real experiences, practical insights, and lessons from their journeys to success. Now, let's get started.
Hi, this is Jenni Lee Crocker of Alliant, and this is our second installment of our podcast, Women in Sales. Today is really super fantastic for me because I am joined by Stephanie Ford. I can give you her credentials, but to me, the most important credential is bestie. And when you get your best friend who has a super skill set, that's absolutely the person you interview. So Stephanie's going to give you a little bit of her background. She's a leader within Whitney, an excellent consulting firm. But today's topic is going to be centers of influence. And the specific reason that I invited Stephanie here today was not just because she has bestie status and because of her career path, but because she's the best networker I know. And that network she has built is consistent and has longevity. So Stephanie, will you introduce yourself today?
Well, thank you so much, Jenni Lee. It is an honor to be with you always, especially in this format. And I'm going to say right back at you, girlfriend, on all of those accolades, because I think you too are not only a sales diva, but really fine mentor and set the stage and the example for many. This podcast just being one more example of blazing a trail for women, connecting women, and spearheading. So excellent. Thanks for the time together.
Great. You already chose one of my favorite words, connecting. I think that that's maybe a good place to start. So I would say the importance of COIs on my career are everything, that the centers of influence are the people around me who are important and relevant to me in various levels. My centers of influence also happen to be people I call friends and colleagues and that I enjoy being around and learn from. So it's made my career. But if you could talk specifically, because I do absolutely believe you are the very best networker I've ever known. And I would love to hear from you about the importance of COIs on your career and maybe how you built it.
Absolutely. Glad to share. You're right. That network is golden. Interestingly, my son even said to me recently that he heard this phrase, your network is your net worth. It was new to me, but it rang true. And I guess the seeds that I've planted over many years, I'm at the stage now where the harvest is being cultivated and reaped. And it's a beautiful thing. And you're right. It is so important. How do you build that COI network? Well, I'm going to say it's one relationship at a time. And that's what I really started doing. And it's just fun, frankly. Lots of lunches, one-on-one, coffees, one-on-one, making yourself available to people at networking events and through networking groups, but then following up and following through to go deeper and building those personal connections. I think it's about taking a deliberate approach and taking friends to become fans and then advocates.
Wow. That was really good. You're right. One relationship at a time. I really like that. I think I got chills. I mean, because for me, when I think about this, I see when people get it wrong. When people try to make it transactional. I'm going for a coffee with Stephanie Ford today of Whitney, and I want to learn about her clients, and I want to see if she can introduce me to someone. But that's not a relationship. That's a transaction. So how are you uniquely positioned to do that differently? You're not getting it wrong. You are doing this, like you said, one person at a time, one relationship at a time. How are you uniquely positioned to create that COI network?
I think women are uniquely positioned, and that fits in with your theme. I think we're naturally more collaborative, and that plays into being able to build consensus together, which is very good when you're in the boardroom, as I'm often working with boards, working with executive teams. Those are important skills to have. And it's about being authentic. And as I've progressed in my career, I really have found that when you can be vulnerable and in a positive way, then that goes a long way towards deepening those connections and really creating the trust and transparency that goes to building, and not, like you said, not just a transactional relationship, but a lasting relationship. And oftentimes these start in the business setting, but then friendships blossom because of it.
Right.
Which is fun.
So you brought up trust and you brought up follow-up. And I think these two things are interwoven. I do think, just repeating your words, deepening that relationship. If I make a promise, if I say I'm going to do something, go do it. And people respond to that. Even if it's small, Stephanie, I told you I would tell you about my dry cleaner or my tailor or whatever it might be. Make sure you do it. I think that that's part of that follow-up and that trust. So look, I think we are our own success story of a COI.
Absolutely. It's interesting. I'm not sure I can remember the exact day that I met you the first time, but I
You were a banker.
Right. I was back to my commercial banking days. And I know our friendship was cemented because we became classmates in LMR and even roommates on our first retreat weekend.
That was
and
lucky.
I mean, just super fun times. And then so many other connections since. And you're right. I think trust is the glue of life. And it's about being competent and consistent, the follow up and the follow through and doing it over and over so that people know that they can trust you. And that's huge.
And I think that creates your long game, right? You said you're harvesting now. This is the wealth that your son Austin mentioned, right? You're harvesting for the long game. And if you plant early, it does make a difference.
It kind of happened naturally. I started my career as a commercial banker and I was both relationship manager and underwriter. It gave me the unique opportunity to get to know at a very young age so many business owners, CEOs, CFOs, and then beyond that, also their closest advisors, their CPAs, their attorneys, their other financial advisors, their insurance professionals like you. And so it's about kind of that web just naturally formed. And then it's about working the web, which there's a spider reference for you, Jenni Lee. And so that's really how I started my career as a commercial banker, is naturally getting to have this web built through my clients and really maximizing that. And that has continued over the years. Now in my time at Warren Whitney, in my consulting experience in strategic planning, succession planning, board governance, working with a mixture of private companies, family businesses, nonprofits. It's all about board members and professional advisors and business leaders coming together. And I think I heard once, the key is not about you calling the decision maker. The key is having the decision maker call you. And I'm at that place now where they call me and they want to think through their big decisions in life from themselves personally and for their company. And so it's an honor to be in that position. And I think, again, it's back to that network building from year upon year.
And trust building with that network. I think you are the best example I can think of, someone who built all that trust over time. And now in your career, you were seeing the benefit of it. So this is our podcast. And I think that there's a lesson for all producers in here about putting the time in, making that investment in your career and your longevity. But the benefits might result in great friendships as well. It's not just professional. I have one COI piece of advice, but I'd love to hear if you had to give somebody one great piece of advice. Mine is give more than you get. It always works out. Don't keep score. If you happen to give somebody 10 leads, one day it will work for you to your advantage in some way, shape, or form. I have never had poor karma on my side. And so I always say, don't keep score, give more than you get. And my guarantee is it always works. And tell me what yours.
Absolutely. Mine is really the same theme. I've always said it is to get referrals, you give referrals. Give referrals to get referrals. And when you can make, I'll say 2 or 3 referrals in a row that are spot on to the same individual, it's very impactful.
Right.
Very impactful.
Well, I love this. Okay, so I got to spend time with my best friend. I got to talk about my very favorite subject within sales. And I believe this is a real career builder for women and any producer. This is the time where you invest in your COI. So Stephanie, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure. And I just have to add that I might be a good example, but I'm not the only good example. And I can at least think of 2 specific organizations you've spearheaded to bring women together, to network, to collaborate, and to build each other up and lift each other up. So kudos right back at you.
Well, thank you. So today, COIs, thanks, Stephanie. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Till next time.
Thank you for listening to Women in Sales with Jenni Lee Crocker. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a colleague, and leave a review to help more women discover these conversations. We'll see you next time for more stories, insights, and inspiration from women leading the way in sales.